Gargoyles. For most people, hearing that word gargoyle brings up images of the many strange stone-hewn creatures that adorn Gothic churches in Europe. Others think of Disney's animated peak in the 1990s. And some are wondering why I'm talking about the Smurfs. But I'm not talking about the Smurfs. I'm talking about 1972's horror movie Gargoyles, a TV movie monster as mixed up as the creatures it features. You can tell it's 1972 because the narrator at the start of the film immediately brings up the devil.
The devil.
Literally, it's the first words. 70s films never missed a chance to bring the devil up, probably because he was constantly on everyone's minds as they heard the first notes of disco wafting in through the walls of their sanity. Admittedly, bringing up man's favorite excuse for evil isn't surprising in a movie about flying monsters. In this tale, Satan is real, and he fell from heaven along with all the other evil demons. Apparently, what he lost in heaven, he will gain in earth. And like a mogwai from China, the devil emitted gargoyles across the land. Sure, why not? It's still a better story than Pokemon. Now it's off to the deserts of New Mexico, land of the blue skies and bluer meth. It's here that a book-learning doctor, not a people doctor, Dr. Bowley, has found his next joy to kill. You see, the doctor is a bit of a nutcracker. He's a guy who likes to disprove religions and the paranormal. Nothing gives him better kicks, sweeter kicks, than beating the hope out of people that don't know as much as you claim to know, out loud, constantly. Along with this doc, is his meddling and scantily clad daughter. These two are headed out to a reptile prison called the Desert Museum, where they're going to meet Uncle Willie, no relation, an adult Haley Joel Osment. An adult Haley Joel Osment who doesn't see dead people, but sees the fearful symmetry in gargoyle bones. That's right, Uncle Willie has assembled a skeleton with wings right here in his shed of bone smells. He wants to sell the skeleton to the doctor, too, along with some Indian legends about weird stuff and things, in exchange for an exclusive all-Willie, all-book deal. But before you can ask how many varieties of salmonella can be stored in a single pair of stained pants, the shed is shook to shit by a strange, screeching group of beasts. Uncle Willie gets clongered in the head by a wooden beam, and then the shed turns into a flammable calamity of lizards, torches, and pea blankets. Old Willie gets left to fight fire with his face as the doc and daughter run with joy away from the former Desert Museum. They've escaped. But not before snatching up a sweet horned skull from that explosion. All right. Though they are free from the flames and heavy with satanic swag, they soon realize they might be running with the devil, because something is following them. Something that flies by the night, that doesn't honor hotel room occupancy limits, and that desperately wants that horned skull back. It's up to the doctor, his daughter, who is now even less clothed, and the power of a unified front of drunk hotel owners, dirt bikers, and police deemed too stupid for Mayberry to combat the threat of the Gargoyles. Gargoyles was a perennial Saturday evening movie on cable's TNT for me growing up. It was on the TV more than classic rock compilation CD ads, for instance. Thanks to that repetition, this film has stuck with me. I can't remember being happy as a child or how to properly quote most of Ghostbusters, but I remember fucking gargoyles for some reason. I don't mean I remember fucking gargoyles. No, or them fucking... No. Just the movie. I remember that. Where they probably actually were fucking a lot, given that there's like a lot of gargoyle eggs and they're trying to repopulate the earth. Anyway, I think it's because most of the film takes place at night, in eerie desert hotels and caves, and it features wicked monsters harassing people, and they look really cool while they're doing it. And it wasn't so violent, it was scary, so I was allowed to watch it, so it was fun. Is it good, though? Like comparing some of the monsters to other monsters in the film, some gargoyle parts are better than others. That said, the makeup effects overall are really top-notch in this film. This is in fact Stan Winston's earliest special effects makeup work, and it won him an Emmy. The beasts are as beautiful as they are sassy, and they're sassy. A female Goyle gets jealous that the male gargoyle leader has taken a human woman, into their love cave. Well, she gets up there in his face, and the lead gargoyle calms her down, turns her around, and he slaps her on the ass and sends her on her way. I had to replay it. I didn't believe it. It's hilariously sexist, but It's also utterly unique and utterly impossible to see in today's media, just like these gargoyles themselves. Aside from that fantastic makeup and rampant Satan-appropriate sexism, I guess, the next best part has to be the lead gargoyle. He is incredibly eerie with a piercing gaze and a quiet, stalking, persuasive way. He's played by Bernie Casey, who you won't recognize as the history teacher from Bill and Ted. That's a pretty weird movie fact. The gargoyle, his voice, has a great vocal effect that gives him this kind of unique vocoder whisper on every line.
We've been alive for a few weeks. We must not let you kill us out.
I would love to know how they did it. It's also important to note that the gargoyle was dubbed by Vic Perrin, the guy who did the Outer Limits intro about controlling your television set, and a whole mess of Hanna-Barbera cartoons. So it's a black guy that was dubbed by a white guy. It's kind of a reverse Darth Vader. Huh, weird. Hail Satan. As high as it soars in makeup and audio, Gargoyles flails hard in its editing, to the point of nearly crashing and burning. There was some decision made in the making of the film to slow the frame rate down on any shot containing a gargoyle. I have no definitive proof, but I suspect it was done to hide what may have been considered poor makeup and costumes, but they're all great, so why do that? And how is slowing everything down so you have more time to look at something you think is bad going to hide things? What? It's kind of like how they slowed down giant monsters in kaiju films, but where that was done to imply a slowness because of a huge scale, a huge size. There's no apparent reason here. It just looks weird, especially in scenes with normal-sized people also moving slow. It's like, why is everything slow? Am I drunk? What's going on? The rest of the movie is just a repetitive slog of confusing police versus biker scenes because it's the 70s, so you had to have a bike chase scene. You could go outside and ride a tricycle around a block while drunk during these parts, and you would miss absolutely nothing when you came back. But you do need to pedal a little bit faster when you come back, because the winged wackiness of gargoyles is something you don't need to miss. It's the rarest of film creatures, and it only seems to have media made about it every once in a long, long while. I give Gargoyles 3 wicked gargoyle skulls, perfect for any weirdo's aquarium, out of 5. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
The devil